In 1893, Swami Vivekananda addressed the Chicago Parliament of Religions that they had back then. And he gave this lecture that I just is perfectly appropriate for our time now. And I wanted to share it because it might be helpful. He says, or said at this address, "Therefore the world is waiting for this grand idea of universal toleration. It will be a great acquisition to civilization. Nay, no civilization can long exist unless this idea enters into it. No civilization can grow unless fanatics, bloodshed, and brutality stop. No civilization can begin to lift up its head until we look charitably upon one another. And the first step toward that much needed charity is to look charitably and kindly upon the religious convictions of others. Nay, more, to understand that not only should we be charitable, but positively helpful to each other. However different our religious ideas and convictions may be, and that is exactly what we do in India, as I have just related to you. It is here in India that Hindus have built and are still building churches for Christians and mosques for Mohammedans. That is the thing to do. In spite of their hatred, in spite of their brutality, in spite of their cruelty, in spite of their tyranny, in spite of the vile language that they are given to uttering, we will and must go on building churches for Christians and mosques for the Mohammedans until we conquer through love, until we have demonstrated to the world that love alone is the fittest thing to survive and not hatred, that it is gentleness that has the strength to live on and to fructify, and not mere brutality and physical force. This open heart, this understanding the nature of spiritual life, of humanity, to find in ourselves a connection, a unity, a togetherness, and to understand that all of our religious efforts are fostered by love. They all claim a God of love, a God of grace, and a God of mercy. They all teach the one most important thing is love. If that's the one most important thing, we have a lot of work to do. So again, I lay this ideal before you. Look for the sameness between ourselves and others. Look for the common ground. Don't look for the differences. Don't camp on the disagreements. Camp on those things we share and grow out from there. Gain an understanding from there. Gain an acceptance from there. My brothers and sisters, love one another. I got that from a story that I heard actually in a church growing up, that St. John was the only apostle apparently to die to die a natural death, I guess, even though he was exiled to the Isle of Patmos, where he did some of his teaching. And the story goes that he was every Sunday led up to the front of the gathering of practitioners to give a lecture or to say something, and that he universally said the same thing every week. He was helped up to the front and held up there by some assistants, and said to everyone, "My brothers, my sisters, love one another." And then he would sit down. So there's Jesus, John, the favorite disciple of Jesus according to the New Testament, giving us the same message, giving us this message of love, to use love to solve our differences. Not what we're doing. We can do better.